The power of Manny. Honestly, I'm fascinated at the people who come after me on Twitter, and it's usually just a couple of unhinged individuals, right? And I tell them, okay, so the Borderlands, yeah, it's gonna fail. And they're like, well, why? It's like, okay, because they made an IP that was meant for the targeted audience of young adolescent young men who like violence, right? They took something that was meant for that demographic and made it for, I don't know, a group of ideologically possessed individuals with daddy issues, right? And they're like, oh, whoa, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, what is that? I'm like, oh, no, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think I'll be, but hey, if it ends up being good, I'll eat my words. Borderlands fails. That movie fails. And the same people, they do not come back and apologize. They block, some of them even blocked me, right? And I say, oh, well, Star Wars The Acolyte, gonna be garbage. And they're like, oh, how do you know? How do you know? It's what? And this is before the Acolyte even came out, right? I'm like, oh, how the fuck do you know? I'm like, well, because it's Disney, right? They're making something again that was for one targeted demographic, and making it for nobody. Like, I guess the widest possible audience they can, right? But and and when you end up doing that, you ended up making it for nobody. And they're like, oh, well, how are you? You're wrong. You're wrong. I'm like, well, again, I hope I'm wrong. If it ends up being good, that'll be interesting. Then as it's going on, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be garbage. It's not coming back for a second season. Right? The same individuals contradict me. And here I am again being correct. Right? Being objectively correct. Because, again, they made something, again, Star Wars for young adolescent men that like violence. And again, Star Wars before, at least like in the trilogy, like not the latest trilogy, but the first two, sold around the world. So it was legitimately inclusive because people around the world understood Luke as a character, like Star Wars as an IP. But again, now the Acolyte is for a small fringe minority of, I guess, women with daddy issues, and they're happy that Star Wars is not for the targeted audience. So they look at complete strangers that used to like the Star Wars and don't like it anymore, and they're glad that the IP is effectively failing, and that because they have a chip on their shoulder, their entire ideology is based around destruction of what other people like. The people they deem as racist or sexist or this or that, and they're glad. Like, they sleep better, but now it's failing, and the same complete strangers that only liked Star Wars for what it was are now happy. Like, now they're coming back at these individuals. They're coming back at the individuals that defended the Acolyte. The same people that didn't even watch the show, but they have an ideology, and their ideology demands they defend something, right? So they don't put any money or anything towards that thing. But as long as it says the words they want to hear, it's like the switch flips in their brain, and they're like, oh, I'm in defense mode. Who can I impose my daddy issues on? Oh, people who don't like the Acolyte. Oh, well, and finally, now I can have my life actually has meaning. So let's read this article. I doubt it's going to really get into this. Well, I'll read a little bit. Though Disney Plus Acolyte series introduced many very compelling new characters and lore to the Star Wars canon. No, it did not. Its stories about a dark side of the Force won't be continuing with a second series. Though Series 1 finale seemed to be setting up the series more episodes, Deadline reports that Disney has canceled The Acolyte. Things were rocky from the start, and the show a Star Wars fan displeased with the cast and premise took a review bomb in it in droves. But Disney's cancellation decision was reportedly driven by the acolytes' less than desirable viewership number. Yeah, I mean, it's all of these things. It's the fact that people don't like Disney because they no longer sell a product, they sell ideology. They just wear the product as a skin suit. They don't like the individuals that they've hired for the acolyte. Like I think one made a diss track on haters because again they want the hate, they want the criticism so they can suck up the criticism, process it as being racist or sexist, and then spit it back out to the ideologically possessed individuals with daddy issues. And I got hiccups, god damn it. Every single fucking time I start recording, I get the goddamn hiccups. Hold on. No, I'm not editing this out, by the way. I'm not editing this out. I'm grabbing a drink. Ugh. And again, people are seeing this tactic being done, right? And people are now even complete fucking normies. Like when the complete fucking normies figure this out, you done fucked up. But no, that their ideology demands they chase their this grift, right? The people around them, the people they surround themselves with, demand they chase this grift, even if it leads to, again, the cancellation of these shows, right? And when they happen, people are happy. Like, I'm happy this failed, right? And the fact of the matter is, Disney should be the top of animation because it used to be, right? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick and fucking tired of anime, right? I mean, anime's good, but you had Gargura singing at the goddamn, like a football game. And many conservatives were pissed off, many liberals were pissed off. And I'm like, okay, Mr. Conservative Man, if you don't like this, you demand Disney actually puts out a fucking product, right? Because to my knowledge, conservatives hate fun. Like under the Bush era, they hated, like, metal was satanic, D&D was satanic. It was like this war against fun because the individual just grown up and they can't have fun anymore and they demand no one else can. And it's like, okay, if you think the VTuber is weird and is odd and you don't like it, like it's a threat to you, right? It's a threat to God and country. Fucking demand Disney to do better, right? Because it should have been a Disney character up there singing the national anthem at that football game, but no. And Gargura is an American VTuber, but VTubing is a Japanese culture, right? So it's an American utilizing Japanese culture, and that's the problem with Disney. Now, the problem with Star Wars The Acolyte is effectively the same thing. It's like people with an ideology wearing the IP as a skin suit to profligate the ideology. And the question you need to understand is, what's the point of entertainment, right? Because to me, it's like, okay, I get home from a 10-hour shift, right? And I just want, and when all my responsibilities are done, I just want to sit the fuck down, turn my brain the fuck off, and consume entertainment. My brain goes to a whole nother fucking dimension. So I sit down and I play Warframe, or I play the First Descendant, or I play the new game, Black Myth Wukong. Like, I sit the fuck down and just enjoy these things. But no, people are like, no, that's not the point of entertainment. The point of entertainment is to push ideology. So now you're not supposed to have fun. You're supposed to be like, oh, hey, vote Democrat, vote Democrat, vote Democrat. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Right? And everyone, I believe the majority of people think this way, even the people chasing the grift. It's like, when I want entertainment, when I put my hard-earned money aside for entertainment, that's what I want. I do not want it. I don't put my money aside for ideology. Then comes just a little over a year after Disney CEO Bob Iger told CNBC that that resigning and spinning a big budget Marvel and Star Wars project could be an important part of his plan to get the company back in a healthier financial position. And given how expensive the Acolyte was to produce, it doesn't entirely come to a surprise that it's meeting its end so soon. Again, it shouldn't be that way, right? Disney used to make good entertainment. And I go back to my anime analogy, right? Because I watch a certain magical index all the way through, and I'm like, okay, so anime is doing no different than what Western entertainment used to do. It knew its demographic and it marketed to them, right? Nowadays, Western entertainment just they refuse to do that. In fact, they're happy to do the exact opposite. It's like they're trying to engineer behavior. They're trying to engineer what people want instead of give them what they want. And then you can tell this because if you shit on the Acolyte for the reasons that everybody understands, they attack you, right? What in the fuck is this? Where's please chat? I don't know what the fuck all that is. Are there any comments? I fucking doubt it. View comments. What in the fuck? What in the fuck? That's all I really want from Star Wars for them to remember how to make stories that exist in shared universe without turning it into a marvelized crossover hype cycle machine. Oh, here we go. All comments. Never saw this coming. Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. Bad stuff gets renewed all the time. It's refreshing when something bad gets canceled. Now Disney needs to learn how to stop making so much bad Star Wars. Almost everything they make, movie series, are just bad. Yeah, exactly. Like, they are happy to just shove ideology and make the product trash. And when it fails, and people are happy that it's happening, it's like they double the fuck down. They make yet another bullshit. The perverse morality of the Acolyte and its showrunner that helped Harvey Weinstein acquire whatever he wanted. Interesting. Thank God it was awful. Crazy, it's almost like it wasn't being review bombed and was actually just extraordinarily uninteresting. But after learning this company can legally kill your wife, nothing will surprise me anymore. I need to make a fucking video about that. Apparently, if you sign the Disney Plus terms of service, you legally cannot sue them for any reason. Right? Very interesting. I will place the Acolyte in the middle of the SW live action pack below Andor, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, but what? There was an interesting story buried in there. It's talking about a completely different era of the Star Wars universe. So, and I believe people watched it just out of curiosity, like how they're going to do it. But again, it ended up just being a means to push ideology. Like, have you noticed this in Western media? It's like they have a bad habit of just showing dicks. Like, dick, cocks, penis, balls. But God forbid you get a breast size over B. Like a breast size over B. Not even titty, full unbared titties. Just a breast. Or a fat ass. Like, God forbid you get any of those. Even if they're completely covered up. But no, they're fine with showing dick, balls, man ass. Like, have you noticed that? Right? I'm noticing observable manifest behavior, and I point these things out, and people go schizophrenic, but there's like if you don't generally do not care, you'd be like, yeah, sure, maybe. I mean, and then you just move on. But no, the individuals that I believe 100% understands that this is happening will go straight schizophrenic on you. They'll call you a Khmer and all these labels when if you just point out what is actually fucking happening, right? Like if you agree with what's happening, you can just say that. But no, they pretend you're weird. They tell you to shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about, and it leads to situations like this. Truly a shame. People need to lower their bar. Not every single thing has to be as good or better than your favorite show or movie. If you keep having absurd expectations, every show will be canceled after the first season. For example, watch the first season of The Office. It's by far the worst season, but if they had canceled it, we wouldn't have seen the best season. Again, the problem is it is so easy to just make a basic bitch sci-fi Star Wars show, right? Have interesting characters that fill a role like the pilot, the mechanic, the man with lightsaber, the hot female fucking eye candy, the goofy fucking alien, the goofy fucking robot, and just throw them in situations like D&D style situations. So they go to interesting planets. They see, oh, what problems are on the planets. You throw an overarching bad guy. And you see, okay, how do they face the bad guy? Western entertainment used to do this, right? But you can't. You're incapable of doing this. That's the problem. And again, there's other fucking Star Wars shows that failed because of this. Like, you're acting like this is just a single isolated case. But no. This is my next commentary opinion. Nope. If the biggest franchise in movie history is your background, it's only a game or bust. Would you accept amateur playing in the MLB and tell people to lower their expectations? Exactly. There's absolutely no reason why people need to. It's fucking Disney. Like, Disney has more money than most first world nations on the fucking planet. And they're incapable of making good entertainment. They're incapable of even doing what they used to do. Right? This is the problem. It's hardly a good comparison though, since Star Wars films and shows are rarely good and more often extremely bad. Tell me the dialogue in any of the films evokes Shakespeare. Again, the dialogue is just one facet. Star Wars is more like an anthology, right? The thing that makes Star Wars is world building, right? You can have just completely bland fucking characters that play a role, but the point is interesting settings, interesting world, interesting new creatures. Like Star Wars, the Clone Wars series on Cartoon Network did that exact same thing. Now, well, it is a cartoon TV series. They absolutely can do this, but they refuse, and they did it with CGI, so it wasn't even actual fucking human beings. It was just all CGI, and they did this in the past, right? So if you're just going after one specific aspect, again, other aspects can pick that up. Yeah, the dialogue's kind of goofy, and all the TV and the movies and most of the TV shows, with the exception of Star Wars: The Clone Wars and maybe some of the Rebels. It's a good comparison because Star Wars and the MLB both have millions of viewers and are expected to rake in lots of money. Star Wars should have the best talent since they can pay the most. So why are they having such a hard time finding minimally competent writers? There's a huge gulf between the Acolyte and Shakespeare. It's like comparing dog crap with Kobe beef to Kobe beef. You can at least get a decent burger. shit, I'll work for them if they're that hard up. I'm confident I could organize atrocities right in before stuff like the sequel movies, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, or Acolyte sees a light of day. Half the people on this thread could probably do likewise. It's not like such a rare skill, so what's the problem, Disney? Exactly. I mean, I'm garbage at writing D&D stories. Like I tried doing one with a similar Stargate story and it was just mid. But again, you can just do what you used to do. Like, and to my knowledge, they've shoved off an entire canon, like the expanded universe. Because in the expanded universe, like, the reason the Emperor built the Death Star was, well, twofold. To impose his power over the galaxy and to fight an even greater threat that was coming, which was the Yuzhang Vong. Now, the Yuzhang Vong is this completely alien race from the Forbidden Zone, and they're sadistic, right? Like, if they kill you, they will dismember your corpse and put pieces of you onto them, right? And they're incredibly sadistic, and the Force just doesn't work on them, right? You can't reflect their blasters, you can't force push, force pull, force lightning. Like, how they make their ships is they just dump this, like, biogel or whatever, biological organism on a planet, and this biological organism just produces ships for them, produces spacefaring vessels just out of biomass, right? So they're effectively like the Zerg, if the Zerg was intelligent, or like the Tyranids from 40K, if the Tyranids were intelligent and weren't like animals, right? So the reason the Death Star existed was, okay, so if a planet has all this biological material on it, it's effectively lost. So what the Death Star would do was just blow the fucking planet up, right? And the Emperor legitimately believed that the Republic just could not face this threat because the gears of bureaucracy just spins too slow, like nothing would be done, and they needed a quick, decisive spearhead against a completely alien threat and a completely unknown threat. So what you had was the Emperor just being this complex character where, yeah, he was evil, like, yeah, he was a menace, but there was some sort of wicked intelligence with him. And they took all that and they just made him just some goofy dude. So now I could continue down this, but again, my thing is, it's a good thing the Acolyte has failed, and I knew it was going to happen. And, hopefully they learn, but I doubt it. I doubt Disney will ever learn. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Peace.